The fix is in. The Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by GV Art and Design. It's not just a shirt, it's a statement. GVArtwork.com.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at The Sports Fix CLE. It's that simple.
Twitter.com/TheSportsFixCLE, baby.
Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia and so much more. Get with us today, The Sports Fix on social media. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at The Sports Fix CLE. Join The Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
Hey Cleveland, this is Anderson Varejão of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You are listening to the Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
Welcome in, rise and shine. Welcome into the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you guys, kicking things off Thursday edition of the Sports Fix today. A whole lot on tap coming your way as we get. There we go. Let's speak into the microphone here. Let's get things rolling here. Welcome in, you guys. A lot on tap today. Boom, boom, boom. You know how Thursdays are. Phone lines going to be very limited today, but I'll do the best I can. I'll open them up right away, but I've really only got maybe 10 minutes here. And you guys know I got some jibber-jabber to do to start the show, so I don't know. But we will open them up at the end of the show, so don't worry about that. But a lot on tap. It's Thursday. We start heading to the weekend. You know how we do it. Kendall Lewis, the BSK, he's with us just about 12 minutes from now. Kicking things off, we will talk about it's probably going to get ugly for a minute. We'll talk about the Jags game last week and put that finally, I think the last little look at that. Well, I think Jonathan Knight will have things to say tomorrow about that too. But we'll take care of business there. Then look ahead. Hoyer, the Raid-ahs on tap. We'll talk about that with the BSK. Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com. Mike B's in the house today. We'll talk about the World Series. We'll talk about the game here in just a minute as Kansas City. Say what now? I guess everybody saw it. They got a little life. I think that scrapping got that juice flowing there, and they're rolling now. I think they woke up a little bit, but we got us a World Series now. We'll talk about it here, but Mike Brandenberry is going to talk about it as well. Mike Aviles option coming up whenever this thing ends here. 3 days after that, that's one of the earlier decisions that the Indians are going to have to make. We'll talk about that. Look ahead to some Tribe stuff. Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com in the house. BJ Rudell, Fantasy Football for Winners. It's Thursday. There's a football game tonight. That means fantasy football this week. Latest slate of games begins. BJ in the house, our guru, author of Fantasy Football for Winners. He'll take your questions live. We'll talk about who you should sit and start and who. I need some help this week too. I'm going. It's circling. For a minute, it had buoyed back to the top. It's circling the drain now, man. I don't know. I got hit with a couple of bad injuries, and now I'm toast, man. Anyways, we'll see, man. If you're like me, then tune in. BJ Rudell, Fantasy Football for Winners. We'll get you straight. Or maybe you're rolling and you're looking to add that little piece. Whatever it is, we'll talk about it. Buy low, sell high, all of that. BJ Rudell, author of Fantasy Football for Winners, coming up at 1:30. We'll talk Cavaliers. They finish up the preseason. All of that. Your take, so much more. Let's do it. Welcome into this. I feel like I don't know why I just did that. I felt like I was at the casino. I'm the dealer. I'm hitting both sides of the hand, showing you that I got nothing up my sleeve. Welcome into the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you. Nothing up either sleeve here. Welcome in each and every weekday. You guys hopefully join us. And yeah, we get crazy like this every day. Each and every weekday at noon, live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. Maybe that means you're listening to the show on TuneIn or TuneIn Radio app. You're listening live on Spreaker and Mixler and their respective sites. Don't forget the Mixler chat room as well. Really, the last couple of days, it really lasts a little while, but the last few days, seeing all kinds of different new faces pop up in there and different people. I think a lot of people, even I've always wondered, I'm like, so many people listen on Mixler. I get the numbers every week and every day. Where are they at in the chat room? But, so, seeing people pop up from time to time, it's just funny how many people don't even know that that's there. And so there you go. So jump over there, mixlr.com, and it's a chat room. No, even if you're listening on one of the other sites, it's a cool little place that you can real time talk along with it, you guys. So be quiet over there, Charles, man, sending me pictures all night last night of me in all various states of poses with James Brown and Apollo Creed from Rocky IV, because I was talking to you guys about that picture they made. Crazy. Again, putting my head in unnatural places. Stop it now. Let me get back to what I'm doing. Welcome in, listening live as well on the sportsfix.net, our home base, and of course to the thousands listening around the world on digital delay, on iHeartRadio, the world's largest internet radio provider, on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio and SoundCloud, all the podcast formats, guys. Thank you so much. As always, however you listen, feed, subscribe, do the Sports Fix thing. Thank you so much for doing it with us. As I said, J-Rock, I'm the big daddy on the microphone, the conductor of this madness. I love it. See, this is what I'm talking about, the peanut gallery in the chat room. There's a part of me that enjoys it, but some of those heads that you guys float in the middle of stuff, it's scary. The one in the football helmet, that's scary, man. I mean, I'm just saying, small children may have to see therapists for some of the things that you guys do when you float my head into some of those pictures. I'm just looking out for the children. You know me. I'm looking out for others, not myself here, you guys. But anyways, hey, be a part of the show. Phones are open right now. 216-539-7535. 216-5. You're laughing in the chat. See, some of you must know. You've seen my head floating around in the things that go, man, I don't know about all that. 216-539-7535. You're making it impossible to focus today, guys. I love it. Hit us up on social media, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfix, CLE, all one word. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Kendall Lewis is on tap just a few minutes from here, you guys, as we roll on. A couple of things I wanted to talk to start things off, though. Let's talk about the World Series. Last night, as I said, a little bit scrapping, and that may have been what it took to fire up the Kansas City Royals. You had looked like we were going to buckle down into one of those traditional style, World Series Fall Classic games, a little bite in the air, a little chill in the air, and get that 2-2 game, and then, PV's rolling along, and bam, things get fired up a bit, and the Royals, I'm telling you, I said it yesterday, and Dan Wismar didn't necessarily agree that the moment was too big for them, but I'm telling you, that wasn't the same Royals team that got there. That was not the same team, and they blew it up. Of course, 5 runs, 6th inning, gave them the 7-2 victory last night, and more importantly, life. I mean, they feel like a completely different team. Their life breathed into them here, and now that series is going to shift coasts. It's going to head out to the Bay Area here coming up this weekend, and hey, all bets are off, man. You held serve. You obviously don't like to lose any at home, but for the way that series started, they bounced back last night, and I really want to see Game 3 now, because I want to see if that really did wake up Kansas City. This is going to be a good one. I'm looking 6 games. I still think Sanford. I was leaning Kansas City because of the momentum, man, but that came to a screeching halt in Game 1. Here, I definitely say Kansas City's got some fight, but I'm going to stick with it. I think San Francisco, I know they're the better team. I think they're going to get it done. But we've got a series now as this thing heads to the Bay for Game 3, which is tomorrow. We'll talk some more about it here just a little bit later on when Mike Brandenberry joins us here from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com. But there you go. Kansas City in 6 there. All right. I hear you, and I can appreciate that. Sticking with it even after losing the first game, man. I mean, this is going to be a good series, I think. I was a little bit worried. I said, let's see how Kansas City comes back and reacts to this, man. The first game, especially when you didn't know if that confidence got shattered, because I'm telling you, I know the sabermetrics guys are like, listen to the idiot talking about momentum. Momentum doesn't mean anything. I disagree. I respectfully disagree with that. And but you wonder, because sometimes you got that confidence, and then once it gets shattered, it's like Cinderella at the end of the ball. I'm not saying you just go into being the worst team. You don't go from the best to the worst, but it's that little, especially when the talent levels are close. I think that's one of those edges that when a guy just believes that he can't be beat, I guess you can believe you can't get beat and still get shelled. So I guess I'm sure there's bad pitchers that go out there every time. But no, man, I think deep down in their heart, they know that they're not that good, you know. But anyways, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are maybe that doesn't mean anything, but I think it does. So I wondered. But here you saw they're alive now. And we got a 1-1 playoff World Series here. The Fall Classic is now back in line to be a classic again. We'll talk some more about that. Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTryWinLastNight.com just about 35 minutes from now. Of course, we've got Kendall Lewis coming up on tap just a few minutes from now. Quickly as well, Cavaliers last night wrap up the preseason on the road. LeBron didn't play. Cavaliers lose to the Grizzlies 96-92. What you saw last night is the formula for how teams are going to try to beat the Cavs in the regular season. I don't get all into none of this preseason stuff, really. Even that game the other day with Chicago, you know, the rotation was a little tighter and it was more regular season-ish, but it's still not regular season. And I'll stick to what I say. The regular season is not all that regular season-ish. To me, it's an 82 game. It's not for every team. In the NBA, the regular season is very important for the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 type seeds. But for the first couple of seeds especially in the East, when you've got, now it's a little different. You know, the West, it's a dogfight just to make the play. I mean, good teams miss the playoffs. In the East, and until these teams change that, which I think it's happening over the next couple of years, but until that happens, for the top couple of teams, and the Cavs are one of those, man, it's going to be an 82-game preseason. It's a giant experiment that people pay money to come see, flock and see the Beatles and their 1 or 2 appearances in your town this season. And then when the playoffs come, it gets real. And I think it's the same for many of the top teams. And in the middle, it's whatever. Let me tell you something, man. I don't know. Let's just say I was looking into potential, you guys talking about Cavs tickets over there. I was looking into a potential birthday gift for my son here. He's going to be turning 16, and there just happens to be a Cavs game on the night of his birthday. And my buddy got a couple of sets of season tickets, and he's like, man, I got you. I'll take care of you if you want them. And he quoted me a price, and I'm like, man, it's all good. And he was hooking me up at less than face value for what they're going for. So that's cool, but it's still like, it's some dough. And I'm going, man, and you guys know, by hosting the Sports Fit, I get people that get a hold of me all the time when they have extra tickets, and they'll say, hey, do you know somebody that's looking? And if I do, I'll put a post out and say, hey, I got 2 and 138 for the Cavs tonight. Anybody want to go? And let me tell you, I was doing that a lot over the last couple of seasons from time to time, and hooking people up that had tickets to give away and people that wanted to go to games just to, whoa. Won't be none of that here coming up this year. Let me just tell you that. My son better appreciate going to that Cavaliers game. They are fantastic seats, but yeah, the new generation's coming. Oh, they added the scoreboard, or the floor thing too. Brother, ticket prices over the next couple of seasons are definitely going to skyrocket. You cannot do the things the Cavs are doing without attaching a price increase. They're going to do the 3D court. I don't know if you guys have heard it yet. They're going to do the 3D court for every game. The thing that they did for Z, that's going to be standard production now for the Cavaliers. They're one of only 3 franchises in all of professional sports to have that technology. It's not cheap. They paid for some proprietary rights there, and we'll be paying for it for the next couple years, because it's that, I mean, there's just no way. You don't bring in millions of dollars worth of equipment and all of that. And, yeah, exactly, Chris. Tickets are up there, man. And it's just going to go up. But, I mean, that's part of it, too. I mean, the Cavs have always wanted to bombard you with lights and music and sound. And now they added the 3D courts to that as well, and a high-dollar product on the field as well. And the banner, Sherwin-Williams, my man George Vlasic going down. LeBron going up in time for the start to the season. And you knew it was coming. But the LeBron Nike banner going to go up in time for the opener on the 30th. We'll talk more about that. Let's get to the break. When we come back, shift gears. Kendall Lewis kicking things off with us. The BSK in the house. We'll talk a little Browns, Jaguars, Hoyer, Raid-ahs, and more with the BSK Kendall Lewis coming up next here on The Fix.